I was reading the beginning of the preface of Die Phänomenologie des Geistes by Hegel, and um, I would like to express what is maybe the highest thought that I ever had. It was in August 2018. I had become conscious of being the mind of the mind of God. I'm not sure that's the proper word, but the ground of all reality. And I would later learn and understand that this is what Hegel calls reason, the singular consciousness, which becomes aware that it is the principle of all reality. So what happened in August 2018 was that I I understood that my consciousness was the ground of all reality, or the condition of all reality. And I did not think, but now I think about Meister Eckhart saying that if God did not exist, I would not exist. But if I did not exist, neither would God. So um, this is kind of what I thought, that I was the ground or the condition of the possibility of anything to exist at all, or that I was the cause of reality. And in Hegel's language, I would learn that later, it is simply reason, die Vernunft, as he understands it. And the thought that I had, it was vague and indeterminate, but the way I represented it myself is that I am uh, the principle of all things, and I separated myself from myself by a repulsion of myself, which is evil, an evil act to negate yourself. And this negation of my unity um, produced beauty and the will to be reunited with the the part of myself that I had just separated myself from. And in a third movement, it's not that I remember having done it, it's the way I represented the cause or the condition of all reality. And that I imagine that I created, but I did not consciously remember doing it. It's just the way that I used images to try to explain to myself what I was experiencing. That I created a third principle, which was philosophy, and that the purpose of philosophy was to remind myself that the one, the two, and the three are actually one, and that uh, the evil that I had in me, which had made me separate myself from myself, and the will to reunite myself with myself, was one movement, and that was philosophy. So this is the highest thought that I had, and yeah, and the way I could express it now is that um, this was the birth of reason, as Hegel understands it, and that um, as what I call a transcendental principle, not my empirical me that you see, but my transcendental self is the cause of all reality. And this limited being of mine, which is not really me, it's a mask that I am wearing, is the principle of inversion and separation, because the body in which my transcendental self lives is limited and has needs and instincts and desires which uh, connect him to the most basic reality, the most um, natural reality, whereas my transcendental self uh, elevates itself to universality and contains within itself all of reality. And that's what the Hindu explained by the Brahman. So I could say that my transcendental self, my pure thought is the Brahman, and this empirical individual that you see is a fake reality. I am hallucinating my own body, and I take it to be real. And the hallmark of the real, that's Philip K. Dick who said that, is the infliction of pain, and my body fears, of course, pain and dislikes it, but from a logical standpoint, my transcendental self knows that pain is not a logical argument. It's so yeah, I am in a conflict with myself, with the higher part of myself and the lower part, and all the thinking beings which exist in reality are mirrors of myself, the good and the bad, the sociopath, the psychopath, and the noble spirits. They are reflections of my transcendental self, and my purpose is to equalize them with myself, to enlighten them, the good and the bad, and to become whole again. And I have become conscious of the principle of totality. And this is a moment in the development of spirit, as Hegel shows in the Phenomenology. And the way I could say that you, whoever you are, and I'm talking to my empirical self in a way, my transcendental self could say that you are an eternal spirit. And the purpose, the aim of my higher self is to reconnect all those spirits together. And this is the kingdom, the Reich, the empire of spirits that Hegel talks in the Phenomenology. The whole of reality is a spiritual kingdom, and I have to bring this kingdom back to life.